Shut it down. Shut it all the way down and blame it on the Democrats because it is their fault. If the government shut down, it is the fault of the Democrats, and Republicans don't cave. Don't fall for the okie doke. President Donald J. Trump, don't fall for the okie doke. Let the government shut down.
Today, September 30th, Republicans are forcing a government shutdown because they don't care about your health care. They control every level of power: the House, the Senate, the White House, and unfortunately, even the courts. Yet, instead of protecting your health care, they're going to shut down the government, impacting essential services and hurting our veterans, seniors, and working families. Democrats are fighting for a simple plan: cancel the cuts, lower costs, and save health care.
Why are people acting like a government shutdown is something new that doesn't happen every year? Every year around this time, there is the threat and the concern about a government shutdown. It happens I think last year it even shut down for like a week or two. Like, is it just because we live like the military life, so it affects us and we are just more part to it and remember it? But why are people like... Now, I'm not saying it's not a big deal, because it is, obviously. Like, there's a lot of things that it affects, but this happens every year. This isn't something new.
Once again, America's government is shut down, and the blame game is louder than the solutions. Republicans point at Democrats, Democrats point at Republicans, and Donald Trump is jeering from the sidelines with his own opinion. But in the middle of all this, it's the everyday American who pays the price. Hey everyone, Dennis Njoroge here. Welcome back to the channel. Quick note, all clips featured here belong fully to their original creators, and I share them for commentary and analysis. Big appreciation to every journalist and leader and creator whose work helps us break these issues.
Shut it down. Shut it all the way down and blame it on the Democrats because it is their fault. If the government shut down, it is the fault of the Democrats, and Republicans don't cave. Don't fall for the okie doke. President Donald J. Trump, don't fall for the okie doke. Let the government shut down. And you want to know why the Democrats want to shut it down? Because the Republicans are refusing to give free health care to illegal immigrants. They ain't supposed to be here any damn way. Free health care, Americans don't even get free health care. So why in the world do y'all want illegal immigrants to get free health care when Americans don't even get free health care? Make it make sense. And so y'all want the American people to suffer because you want illegal immigrants who are going to be deported anyway to get free health care? What? Shut it down. Y'all, I do believe it's going to get shut down because the Democrats don't care about the American people. Kalshi is right. It's a 92% chance right now. Actually, I would say it's about 100% chance because I will bet on the Democrats to not do what is right for the American people, so the government is going to shut down because the Democrats don't give a damn, but y'all don't fall for the okie doke. Don't even fall for it. Do you get free health care? So why in the world are they fighting for illegal immigrants to get free health care? Why? Why? It don't make no sense, do it? Republicans don't fall for the okie doke. Don't let them shut it down. Shut it on down. I'll be damned if some illegal immigrants get free health care when people who are from America don't even get free health care. Don't nobody in my family get free health care. Come on, y'all. Make it make sense. The shutdown's going to happen, but blame it on the Democrats. Oh, this 92 is going to 100%. I can guarantee you that because the Democrats don't give a damn about the American people. So, we going to see, though. We are going to see. But if it's shut down, blame it on the Democrats. Blame it on them.
Today, September 30th, Republicans are forcing a government shutdown because they don't care about your health care. They control every level of power: the House, the Senate, the White House, and unfortunately, even the courts. Yet, instead of protecting your healthcare, they're going to shut down the government, impacting essential services and hurting our veterans, seniors, and working families. Democrats are fighting for a simple plan: cancel the cuts, lower costs, and save healthcare.
Why are people acting like a government shutdown is something new that doesn't happen every year? Every year around this time, there is the threat and the concern about a government shutdown. It happens I think last year it even shut down for like a week or two. Like, is it just because we live like the military life, so it affects us and we are just more part to it and remember it? But why are people like... Now, I'm not saying it's not a big deal, because it is, obviously. Like, there's a lot of things that it affects, but this happens every year. This isn't something new. Like, acting like this is, like, something that has never happened before. Literally every year. This happens literally every year that I can remember. Well, I mean, as an adult, and since my husband joined the military, this happens every year. This isn't new. This isn't new. I don't know.
We're hours away from a government shutdown. Here's how it could affect your day-to-day life. Some federal employees like TSA agents, air traffic controllers, FAA staff may work without pay or be sent home. It means that we could have longer airport lines, delayed flights, or overall disrupted travel plans. In addition, national parks, monuments, and museums may close, affecting weekend trips and tourism for families and local businesses. Visa, passports, and immigration services may slow down or pause, delaying travel, work permits, and green cards. Federal loans and benefits such as Social Security, Medicare, student loans may be delayed, affecting, of course, bills, healthcare, and overall tuition payments. Lastly, roughly 41.7 million SNAP users and 7 million WIC beneficiaries could face delay in groceries and overall nutrition benefits that could really jeopardize how easy they can put food in their table. So from airport trips to grocery shopping, a government shutdown could touch more parts of daily life that most people often realize. As always, spread the word, save this video, and keep your family informed.
So the government might shut down unless Congress agrees to a funding plan. Let me break it down for you. So the government might shut down tonight, September 30th at midnight, if they do not come up with a funding plan. So normally every year, October 1 is the new fiscal year in which Congress votes or they approve a budget during that time for the remainder of the year, the entirety of the year. However, the Republicans drafted up a bill and did not include any input of Democrats and said, yeah, here you go, vote on this. Yeah, and the Democrats said, no, we're not doing that. So what's going to happen is the Democrats have chosen to not sign or to not vote on this bill, which may cause a government shutdown. And I know some of you might say, well, I thought the Republicans run the House and the Senate. Yeah, they do. However, they still need at least 7 Democrats to vote on this bill. Now, mind you, this bill or this continuing resolution will only be allocated for 7 weeks. And then they will go back to the negotiation table. So this whole government shutdown is only for, I guess, 7 weeks of funding, if they decide to vote and get their 7 Democrats that they need to vote on this bill. And then it's back to the drawing board again in the hopes of another government shutdown if they do not agree to terms, right? Now, the Republicans don't want to fund healthcare. They just said, we done with it, we're away with it. We don't want to extend any more help to Medicare, Medicaid, and basically the Democrats are like, we need Affordable Care Act premium subsidies. Now, I know you're probably thinking, what is an Affordable Care Act premium subsidy, right? So a premium subsidy is basically financial assistance to families of a household size and income that do not qualify or would not be able to pay for these healthcare subsidies. So the Democrats want an extension on the Affordable Care Act subsidies, and the Republicans are saying basically, go to hell. which is really not ethical because on these appropriations or continuing resolutions, they're supposed to be a bipartisan agreement where both parties or both sides, Republicans and Democrats, kind of come to some sort of agreement, right? So I know you're wondering, well, what does it really look like? Mainly, government employees across the board would not get any type of funding. Mainly, employees would not get paid at all. Services will be shut down. Essential services are in jeopardy. So I know you're asking what programs or services might stop. And the list is programs that basically help our unfortunate or less fortunate individuals. Federal grants, national parks and services, rental assistance programs, federal trash and maintenance, small business support, passport services can be delayed, as well as Social Security and SNAP can be delayed as well. And I know you're thinking, well, what continues? So although passport services are going to be delayed, that will still continue, as well as military, Department of Homeland Security, and ICE. Also, USPS mail services, which is self-funded, will continue. Air traffic control will continue, as well as veteran benefits and services. So as it stands, Congress has 5 hours to decide whether they're going to fund this bill or not. And then complete chaos. Yeah, pretty much. Because how are you going to shut down services, and the federal government is the largest employer in the United States? So not only would that go down, as well as our economy, less spending, no going out far as travel to and from, a lot of things will start to go down, and everyone will be affected by this. Not just federal government employees, everyone. Small businesses, local governments, everyone. So we'll see by midnight.
When it comes to this government shutdown, it's looking like it's getting ready to shut down. Apparently, from what they're reporting, the Republicans did not show up to the House today, but the Democrats did. The Democrats are standing firm on fighting for the American people and them being able to keep their Medicaid benefits. As we know, in Trump's big, beautiful bill, as they call it, 1 trillion cuts will be made to the Medicare program. That will strip millions of Americans from having health coverage. As we know, most of the low-income and disabled Americans use Medicaid because they cannot afford some of these other high premiums. So yeah, the Democrats are standing firm on what they're fighting for, and the Republicans did not show. That tells you right there, they don't care about the Americans and what insurance they should have. Basically, they don't care. So it's not the Democrats to blame, it's the Republicans, because they have the House, they have Congress. They are the ones that can do the negotiating. So yeah, it's looking like it's getting ready to be a shutdown.
The longest shutdown in U.S. government history was 5 weeks. It was from December 22nd, 2018 to January 25th, 2019. That was also under Donald Trump. I actually got married in January of 2019 before the shutdown ended, and we were really worried because we were going on our honeymoon to Hawaii, and we were like, how does TSA work if the government doesn't? I had been working for this company that was sending me around the country to different dumb locations, so I had been accumulating quite a few airline points. So we flew to Hawaii for $90, and then we were able to island hop to a couple different islands for like $15 a piece. Took to our third island destination for security to realize that my husband had been running around with a Sweeney Todd-like razor blade. I don't even know where he got it, or like why he decided to take it to Hawaii. The man has a beard. We went to Volcanoes National Park. They wouldn't let us pay. It was very strange. And there were all these signs up everywhere about how the government was shut down, and all of the donation boxes had black paper on them so that you could not donate. They still sold us t-shirts. It was an interesting experience. I highly recommend going out and doing things that usually you need the government for while the government is in recess. It's a fun time.
All right, y'all. So let's get into it about this government shutdown that will be taking place tomorrow. So the congressional leaders from the Republican Party and the Democratic Party could not come to an agreement about the funding, right?
And there's many factors that go with that, but one of the main things that I'm seeing them point fingers about in the media is in reference to the health. So make a long story short, the Democrats are for, keeping Obamacare, advancing it for about the 24 million American citizens who utilize it, and go from there. The Republicans, no surprise, are against that. They want to increase payout by 75%. And they also feel like the illegal immigrants will benefit from Obamacare, which is not true. One of the requirements to even get Obamacare is being a U.S. citizen. This will lead to about an average of 750,000 federal workers being furloughed, but the Trump administration is pushing for there to be a mass firing. So technically, it won't be a furlough for all departments. For the people who's coming online saying, I'm not a federal worker, it don't affect me. One, stop being so fucking selfish. I'm not a federal worker, right? But I do have compassion for those who are being done wrong. They don't deserve this. Every year they're going through a possible government shutdown. And then this is something different for the fact that the administration is trying to dismantle many federal organizations and departments, leaving them stranded without a job. Not based on something that they did wrong, their work performance, or anything like that. Just based off of their own personal greed and their own personal gain in the government. That's not right. Secondly, you will be affected. It always have a negative domino effect. There's no way in the world that you think over 750,000 federal employees might be, terminated or whatever the case may be, and you won't get affected. And instead of looking at it as, oh, well, that's them, not me, we need to find different methods to make sure that we're protected during this transition for as many people as possible, hopefully for everybody, and move as one and stop the division bullshit. This is not all the tips, but first things first. One, make sure that you have full access to all of your money. This shutdown may affect the banks and how fast they do certain things. So if you have certain things in your savings, your checking, just make sure that you have access to all that you need. Get your essentials. Get certain things in order. If you have a family, figure out how this will affect you, if it will, and make moves accordingly. If you're not sure if it will, do not wait to the last minute. Do not wait for something bad to happen, then make a plan. Make a plan for if you're good and if you're not, so that you'll be okay. I'm going to come up with more things for you, but money is number one. As far as the situation, make sure you have access, and then we'll go from there. Okay?
So, what's a government shutdown? In simple terms, it happens when Congress can't agree on a budget. Without funding approved, federal agencies start closing doors. Workers get furloughed, and key services slow down. It's like America's engine stalling, not because it's broken, but because the drivers are fighting over who's holding the keys. Republicans say Democrats are blocking funding over disagreements on spending priorities, especially around border security, aid packages, and government programs. Democrats, on the other hand, argue Republicans are refusing to compromise, pushing extreme cuts and playing politics instead of governing. Each side frames itself as the defender of the people while pointing fingers at the aisle. And then there's Donald Trump. From outside the Oval Office, he's weighing in, calling Democrats weak on security and accusing President Biden of failed leadership. Trump says Republicans should hold the line, even if it means a longer shutdown. For his supporters, that sounds like strength. For critics, it's political games at the expense of families. Let me share some of the effects that Americans will face if this happens. But here is where it really matters. The shutdown's impact on ordinary Americans. Federal workers go without paychecks, meaning bills pile up, rent goes unpaid, and stress rises. Small businesses waiting on government loans get stuck. Services like national parks, passport processing, and even food inspections slow down or stop. Families relying on government programs like WIC for baby formula and food assistance face uncertainty. At the end of the day, politicians argue in Washington, but it's everyday people who suffer. The shutdown isn't just about money, it's about trust. If the government can't do its most basic job, funding itself, how can citizens trust it to tackle bigger issues like healthcare, inflation, or immigration? The fight might look partisan, but the damage spreads to all Americans, no matter their party. It reminds me of Mark 3:25. If a house is divided against itself, that house cannot stand. America's house is divided, and shutdowns prove just how fragile things get when leaders stop working together. Let me ask you, who do you think carries the bigger share of the blame here? Republicans, Democrats, or is the system itself broken? Drop your thoughts in the comments and let's talk about it. If you want more commentary on issues that affect everyday people, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. In the end, the shutdown debate isn't about red or blue. It's about whether America's leaders value politics more than people. Until they prove otherwise, Americans will keep paying the price. I'm Dennis Njoroge. See you in the next one.